We back, man.
Yes, sir, man. We back. How was your trip, man?
Man, it was good, man. It was long, man, but because of the service, you know what I'm saying? It was so much
Yeah.
I wanted to do and wasn't able to do because of the service, the lack of service, man. But the trip itself was good, man. Obviously getting to sit down with the champ, that was good, man. But and spending time with him, he didn't even want me to leave, man. So it was good time spending down there with him, man. But I really wish, it went the way I planned it to go. You know what I mean with us, but I know for next time, man, I got to upgrade my services or something. But I had 3 different services because my laptop is Verizon. One of my cell phones T-Mobile, the other one is Sprint. But I don't know, man. It just didn't pan out that way, man. It was weird, man, because at the gym, you had to walk like in the bushes to get service, but that did me no good because he's in the gym. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it just we got a lot of coverage and content, but it didn't pan out the way I wanted it to. But it's all good. And then he had the flu, so that didn't help either. So man, that dude, he worked like an animal, man, like an animal. So we're gonna have money on as well.
Okay.
Money gonna come on. I told him I sent the link, but he's only gonna stay on for a little while. But yeah, man, I missed having you on, bro. I missed, what I'm saying, the show, man. I had so many big plans for it to go a certain kind of way, man, and it just didn't pan out that way, man. And on top of it, man, there was a lot of stuff going on that we missed out on, at the time while it was going on. So, I truly wish it would have went a different way, but services, man, was down there. I spent my entire time. Mark Breland, he stayed with me the entire time, and I'm gonna give y'all, and I'm gonna give Kurt a quick story, man, that happened, man. Me and Mark went to breakfast. I believe that might have been Friday. Friday morning, we went to breakfast, and he got a phone call while we was at breakfast, and he stepped away. Actually, we didn't even get a chance to eat yet. He stepped away, and he come back. He's just talking. You know how Mark is, man. He real quiet, real humble guy, and so he's talking. He goes, "Blue, man, guess what?" So I'm like, "What's up?" It's like, "That's the Hall of Fame, man. I just got inducted."
Oh man.
I'm like, "Wow, man, that's huge, man." But Mark, man, he don't like to be on camera. He don't like to talk, So I'm like, "Man, that's huge, man. I gotta record that." He like, no, come on, man, come on. But he was shy about it, man. But that was a great thing, man. Yeah, so I'm sitting with him, man. I got the chance to witness it firsthand, man.
Oh, that's great, man. That's great.
Yeah, that was dope, man. He
I'm
told me, he had me rolling, man. He tells so many different stories, man. Hilarious, that dude, man. Hilarious, man. But
man, that dude was a 110-1 as an amateur, man. 110-1.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy that beat him, he got revenge on Darrell Anthony, man. So, not only that, man, Mark always been a good dude, very humble, man.
Yep. Very, man, very humble dude, man. He don't like the dude from the Hall of Fame asked him. He said, "Mark, you still there?" And Mark goes, "Yeah, I'm still there." He like, "Are you even excited? You just got inducted to the Hall of Fame." He goes, "Yeah, I'm excited."
Yeah, that's Mark.
Yep. And then his girl, she started yelling on the phone when he called her, and he goes, "Yeah." She goes, he goes, "You more happy than me." She said, You don't get happy, you don't get excited about much, so I might as well celebrate for the both of us." Said, man, Mark just don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man, I'm glad for him, man.
Yeah, that's a great thing, man. He deserved it, man. 5-time Golden Glove champion, 2-time champion in the pros, 110-1 in the amateurs, Olympic gold medalist. He should have been in, man.
Yeah. Yeah, he hosts a boxer show with John Duddy where they break down old fights. It's come on the MSG channel. You from New York, so you know what I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
about, man. He be on there, man. It's just a good dude. I'm really happy, man. Now he's a trainer, man. He has the world's heavyweight champion, man. I mean, I'm excited for him, man. He probably ain't, but I
Yeah,
am. We all are.
yeah, that's what I told him. I said, man, I'm more excited than you. He like, yeah. And you know how he talk. And somebody in the gym asked him, right? Because you know how low he talks. And people don't know he talks that low, He just talks that low, you know what I mean? And
Right.
somebody in the gym asked him, they said, hey Mark, one of the young kids, they said, hey Mark, man, hey, when you was fighting, did somebody punch you in the throat or something? That's why you talk like that?
Hello.
Hey, my brother, Money
Can
Powell
you
in the
all hear me?
yeah,
Money in the building. Money Powell. What's good?
what's going on with the money? Money, you there? We can hear you.
Hold on a second.
No problem. Yeah, so I thought that was a cool story, man.
That's all right, man.
Yeah, got a chance to witness that firsthand, man. That was cool, man. I wanted to record him, man, but you know how Mark is.
Yeah.
That's just not his speed, man. I truly want to record him, man. While Money's doing that, let me shout out the brothers in the room, man. We got David Scott III, salute. Roberto Todd, salute. Harold Jones, salute. Omega Cam, salute. Don Banks, Jay Cooley, TJ Wilkins, Dane Watson, Kel C, Lou Hinton, my brother Lou Hinton, Charles Miller, Ty King alive. What's good with you, brother? Christopher Schaefer, salute. G5_Gabe, New Jersey, salute. Gun Tote Democrat, salute. Land of the 216, salute. G Al, Bonton South D-Town, Pod Player, Woolbag, Brian Penson, John Legene, Mike Caps, Mahiri Nation, my brother Mahiri, what's going on with you? Mr. De Niro, salute. Corey Yellowman Jackson, Talib Cunningham, salute to my peoples, man. What's good with y'all, man? Smash that like button as you come in. Easy Two Feathers, Jafari Caesar, Kieran Alexis, Kwane, salute. Ricky Chino, Dimitri Cohen, Patrick Scott, what's good with you, Pat? Salute to my people, man. Kenneth Johnson, salute. What's good? So yeah, it was kind of a long week, man, for me, man. And
All right, fellas, what's up?
hey, Money, you there?
Yeah, I'm there, man. I'm here.
Salute to Myron Denard in the super chat. He said, "Blue, can we get a joint show with you, Kurt, Dante, Ego 78, Black Fight Fan?" Dante, man, that's hard, man. Dante is like, I think he's like 12 hours ahead of us or something like that, man. So he don't even do live shows no more. Ego, yeah, we could do Ego, me, Ego, Kurt, 78 for sure on Black Fight Fan. Money Ron, salute. But Dante, man, Jewels of Life, salute. Act Reach and my brother, what's good with you? Tony Dior, Lawrence RBE, salute. Yeah, Dante, man, Dante over in Thailand enjoying life, man. Money, what's going on with you?
It's all good, fellas. What's happening? How are you all?
Money, what's good, brother?
Man, it's all good, man. Just hanging outside of the gym right now, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
we got to get Money on, man.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'll talk to him, and the next time that you have a show, I'll just ask him, if he can just come on for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And yeah,
that would be great, man. See, we get
Oh,
ask him about tomorrow. See, we'll be free tomorrow.
Oh, I'll ask him. That's
Okay.
no problem. Matter of fact, hold on a minute, man. Hold on.
Yeah, so Kurt, what you think about the world of boxing this week, man? We lost Patrick Scott. Patrick Scott. Sorry, Pat, man. Patrick Scott, man. I'm sorry about that, man. I didn't mean to place that on you, man. I'm looking at your name and thinking about Patrick Day. I apologize to you. I didn't mean to place that on you, man. We lost Pat Day. Joshua showing off his weight loss. Andrew Ruiz showing off his weight loss. We got big fights this weekend, man. We got Shakur Stevenson fighting. We got the Prograis Taylor fight. We got there's a few fights this weekend. We got the Erickson Lubin fight. Got a lot of fights this week, man. What you think about this weekend's upcoming fights, the Patrick Day situation,
Hey, Blue.
the boxing world?
Hey, Blue.
Yeah, I'm here, money.
Hey, look here's money right here, real quick.
Oh, money. What?
Hey, how you guys doing, man? How you guys feeling?
Money Paul in the building. What's going on, man? This Kurt Sugar, man. Blue Blood Live TV.
What's
Hey,
going
man,
on, money?
I'm doing great, man. I'm just in here getting my turn on, preparing for my next fight, man. I appreciate you guys.
Hey, we losing you. You guys down in Florida?
We down in Alabama right now. That's probably why you guys losing us. We out here in the trees, man, in the sticks.
Yeah. I know how it is, man. I just came back, man. I don't know. The service life, social media down there, boy, I don't know how they do it, man.
Yeah, me either, man. It's like we living in the Stone Ages out here, but we get it done.
Yep. How's everything going with you, man?
Everything's going great, man. I've been training really hard. We've just been getting better and smarter and working on things. We've been traveling a lot, getting different looks with like new type of sparring partners and everything. So it's been going great, man. It's just a big blessing.
And man, I watched that. I rewatched that last fight, man. And I thought you won that fight, man. Did you see that fight, Kurt?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, I mean,
okay, buddy.
I thought I had one too, but you know, I'm the type of person I really don't dwell on the past, and even if things go wrong in my life, man, I never let it hold me back. I just use it as motivation just to get smarter and work harder. And you know, my pastor always says God does everything for a reason, and I know my time is coming. All I have to do is just stay focused and keep working, and this is just gonna make me a better fighter and a better person.
Absolutely, man. What's the biggest thing you need to work on when you went back to the gym? What's the thing that stuck out to you the most, that stuck with you the most after that fight,
man? The biggest thing I think is probably just coming forward just a little bit more. I was boxing a lot this fight because of his style, so I was just, you know, I'm just gonna outbox him and make him miss and stuff like that. But you know, I guess the judges they didn't really like that as much. So the biggest thing I can really do now is just be more aggressive, a lot more, mixing up the boxing with the aggression, and that's the biggest thing we've really been working on. So even if we're in there with a strong guy or a big puncher or whoever, just to be all around solid, being able to switch at any given time.
Do you think that everybody's so used to your highlight knockouts that when you actually went using a boxing style, that was the people not used to seeing that, and that's against you?
You know, at the end of the day, it could be, but I really think it just comes down to who's judging the fight at the time, because different judges, you know, like different styles, and there's nothing wrong with that. So just the biggest thing you can do when you get in there is lay hands on your opponent as much as possible to try to make it as clear as possible, because some people prefer boxers, some people prefer brawlers and stuff like that. So the biggest thing you can try to do is just to hit your guy as much as possible, so even if they try to take it, they can't, or just knock them out.
Right. Hey, Kurt, go ahead. Would you got anything for him, Kurt?
What you're saying, money, reminds me of the Marvin Hagler saga when he was a boxer, and when he had a controversial draw against Vito Antuofermo, he famously said, "These are going to be my judges." He was talking about his fist. So you feel that you have to be more aggressive and try to keep it out the hand of the judges, but at the same time, be smart, effective aggression. Do you feel like that? Because you do throw a lot of punches.
Yeah, 100%. You really just have to be very smart with your aggression, because I hate to say it, and I'm not trying to bash judges, because you know they're just doing their job too. But when it comes down to the judges' scorecards, that's when it really just comes down to what the judge likes. Because at the end of the night, I mean, they're really going off of what they want to see, and who's ever doing what they want to see more, that's who they're going to give the round to. So you really just have to be smart with your aggression and just try to get your guy up out of there if you can. And if you can't, just bust them up as much as possible, because the last thing you really want to do is go to the scorecards, because you can win a fight lopsided sometimes, and somehow it'll be a split decision or a draw. You know, you never know. So that's why you got to try to finish them.
It just seems like you're more motivated. You sound even more vibrant, more excited that You know, it's like you got do you have something to prove? Because it seems like you even more. I mean, I've talked to you before, so I know that you always up in your spirits are always real high. But it seems like you're more anxious right now. Are you more excited to, you know, you got that chip on your shoulder now?
Oh, most definitely. You know, I've always boxed the same way. I'm a real nice guy, but when I get in the ring, you know, we gotta flip the switch. But I definitely have something to prove. I have something to prove every fight because, you know, like the old saying goes, you're only as good as your last fight. You know, you can have a million good fights, but if the million and one fight don't look too good, that's what people are really gonna judge you off of. So I have to approach every single fight like it's a world title fight for the rest of my life because I didn't step foot in this sport just to be average. You know, I have a dream and I have a dream and a goal, and I'm gonna make that dream become a reality. Any shape or form, fashion, I gotta get it done one way or another, and I'm gonna make it happen.
Go ahead, Kurt.
Money. Do you have a timetable for your next fight? Early 2020, I'm guessing.
No, I'm actually gonna be fighting by the end of this year for sure. Probably December is what it's looking like, strong possibility, but I'm going to be in the ring 100% for sure by the end of the year.
Also, we could possibly see you come over to Brooklyn because there should be 2 big fights, man.
Man, I would love to. I've always wanted to come to New York, man. You know, after the fight, go ahead and get one of those New York style pizzas. I've never had one before.
Oh man, you need to have New York style pizza, man. Hey, money,
I got you, man.
Hey, listen, I'll take you. I took Dante a couple of places, man. He ended up eating 4 slices in one setting, man. So I'll take you all over the place, man.
I'm gonna have to try to beat Dante's record. I'm gonna have to try to eat 5.
Oh man, let's make it happen, man. We're gonna make it happen, man. So, is there any specific style of opponent, you know, that you would look to face next? You know, is there a specific style, you know, that maybe gives you trouble or that you want to work against or anything of that nature?
To be honest, really just anything they send me. That's why we've been traveling all over, just getting different looks with new people, different sparring partners, going to different gyms, just experiencing just different things. So when they do start sending me opponents, I'll be ready for whatever they send me. I'm just preparing to be the best version of myself that I possibly can be, because I just feel like I don't set out to try to be better than this guy or this guy. I just set out to be the best version of myself, because I know if I'm on the top of my game, then I'll come out victorious. So I just focus on working hard and just being the best version of myself. I'm not too caught up with what anybody else has going on. I mean, I wish success for everybody, but for me individually, I just work to be the best I can be.
Go ahead, Kurt.
Money, I want to ask you, certain fighters have trouble in between fights with their weight, go up and down, you know, famous fighters, you know. What is your walking around weight in between fights?
In between fights, I'll be probably between 173 to 178. I don't get that big in between fights. I'm always in the gym like all the time. I mean, I'm even in the gym literally like right now while I'm on the phone. But I never since I've been boxing for 8 years, and the longest break I've ever taken was 5 days. And even still, I was still running and stuff in between then. So, you know, everybody has their own kind of thing that they do, because, you know, some guys are blessed that they can balloon up 30, 40 pounds and they can lose the weight just fine. I know some guys who have that talent. I really think it just comes down to genes and what you feel comfortable doing, because if you can lose the weight and still perform just fine, then why not? But you got some guys who have trouble just cutting 10 pounds. So it really just comes down to whoever it is, to be honest with you. I don't really have trouble. I'm always in the gym, and so it's not hard for me.
No, we had a situation this week. Unfortunate, we lost Patrick Day, and a lot of people. I saw ESPN.
Hello?
You guys still there?
It's okay. Hey, take it easy.
You still there?
I don't know.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, you can hear me, Money?
Fellas?
Yes.
Yeah, you can hear us?
Okay. I can barely hear you.
Yeah, it's that Alabama service. Where y'all at?
Let me go out and come back in again.
Okay.
Let me go out and come back in again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's that Alabama service, man. I told y'all, man. Especially, I believe that they at Deontay's gym right now too. It's like in the sticks over there, man. So, I believe that's what it is. But hey, Curry, I love his spirit, man. I love his energy, and shout out to my brother, Barbershop Conversations, Fred in the building. He corrected me on something, man. I was distracted, and but I talked about that in a second. But Curry, I like his energy, man. What you think about it?
Yeah, because he's taken a loss very well. Most young fighters don't take their first loss very well. They be down, in the dumps, and they worry about, oh, I want revenge. He's just like letting it roll off his back, and he's going on with his career. So that's what I look for in a young fighter, the mental, how strong is his mind, and he has a good positive spirit about himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love his energy, man. I love his energy. I think they come back. Hey, you guys there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm back. I don't know exactly what happened.
You at Deontay's gym? At Deontay's gym? Money, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
You at Deontay's gym?
No. I'm here at our gym.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Alabama, that service down there, boy, it's something else, boy.
It's no joke.
Yeah. It's something else, man. I love his energy, man. I love his focus, Money, man. What do you see, on a day-to-day basis? Because you with him on a day-to-day basis.
Right. The main thing is just it's more of just staying busy, because he's a thinking fighter. He's like water. He just kind of adapts along with what his opponent is doing. But we want him to be more offensive oriented now, instead of throwing some shots, and he can counter really well. But the main thing is going more on the offensive. The biggest thing is the jab. Just throwing more jabs per round. We've been working on that. He's getting used to it, and even a couple of the guys that he had sparred, one from I think one was from the country of Georgia, and the other one from Italy. They told him, they said, man, when your jab is out there, it just makes it extremely difficult for me to get in. Both of them said the same thing, so he's starting to realize all of this stuff as it goes along, and eventually it's going to all come to a point where he puts it all together, and it's going to really work well for him. So by the time he actually fights for some, on the higher level contention, maybe even world championship, hey, he'll be ready for the call.
Yeah, man. You got any questions for Money on that, Kurt?
Yeah, Money. With your son, he has a long jab, and I was studying him, looking at his highlights, and I said, man, if he keep using that jab, because he's long, he has a long jab,
Yeah.
And he used that jab effectively, man, he'll be hard to beat, because he's still a young fighter and he's on the job learning. But the most important thing as a young fighter, I look at the mental, the psychological aspect of a fighter, and he's in good spirits even after a loss. He's like, forget about it, let's go on. Yeah. And I like that. I like that positive spirit, man.
Yeah. Something, and just to underline what you said about his mental, the day after the fight, we're in the airport, man. We're all just having a good laugh, laughing it up. He's like, okay, hey, we get back in the gym Monday. Hey, we go right back at it again. Waiting on a phone call for the next fight. He said, hey, don't worry about it. We'll be there. So yeah, you're right. But other people would call and they would ask and say, is he okay? Is everything? It's like, he's perfectly fine, man. You all make it sound like it's the end of the world, for someone. And I know they didn't mean any harm, but one guy that had me rolling. This guy sent his condolences. I said, did we lose someone? I'm like, no, man, is it that serious? Yeah, it's okay.
That goes back to that Floyd Mayweather effect, man. You take a loss and it's like the end of the world for boxers today.
Yeah, and it's very unfortunate And I mean, you don't see this stuff in the NFL, the NBA, MMA, you know, so forth and so on. You don't see it's only in boxing because of what you just mentioned. And it's like, hey, man, you know, unless you're, you know, fortunate enough, you're not. Hey, I'm just going to say it like it is. You know, you don't want to lose any, but don't be surprised when it happens. That's all I say.
Yeah,
Don't,
majority, most of the greats,
yeah.
is
I mean,
you could count on one hand the ones that didn't, and you know their resume is always that question. The ones that didn't lose, you know, the Rocky Marcianos, Floyd Mayweather, even, you know, Joe Kawasaki, you know, the guys
yeah,
that didn't lose. You know, their
right.
resume is always that question because it's like, well, they didn't fight this guy or this guy. So, you know, but go ahead, Money.
No. Yeah, good points. Good points. Um, he did get an offer to spar with what's his name, Ryota Murata, over in Japan,
Oh, wow.
and that came through today. But the thing is, they're just only wanting him to come over alone. That's simply not happening. That's not happening. So
Wait, without you guys?
yeah, without us. So it's like no, that's not happening. You know, if he was a veteran fighter, you know, been around for a while, this, that, and the other, you know, that's one thing. He's a prospect. He's still coming up. No, you know, it's like no, he's not going to do that. That's
Man,
not going to happen. And,
that sounds shady, man.
Yeah, that's strange.
hey, you know something? That's the way that some of these people play it. That's how some of these people. I'm not going to put, you know, certain names out there here and there, but you know, they want you to come to the camp, but I don't want your coach there because I'm trying to win. You know, and it is what it is, man. And so I just said, hey, thanks, but no thanks. You know, we have things already in place and what we're looking to do. You know, go to different parts of Florida again, a couple of other places as well. So we're going to be pretty busy, you know, for a while, all the way up until hopefully in December. I talked to one of the people at Ringstar, and we were looking at let's see, Rich is going to talk to Al and to see about some bouts, or a bout, excuse me, in December. Maybe December the 7th, you know, with Jamal. Maybe December 21st on the undercard of what's that? Harrison and Charlo
Charlo.
rematch. Or even the 28th, you know, with Tank, you know, something like that. So, but I'll keep you guys informed though. I'll keep you informed.
Yeah, that's a good look, man.
Thanks.
Yes, sir.
That's a great look.
But also we might go back up to you know, Deontay Wilder's gym again. Always good work up there. There are a couple of cruiserweights that my son, well, there's one that he spars with, but there's another guy that my son has never sparred with, and to be able to get in there with him, you know, and get a different look and get some solid work.
That kid Dion Nicholson.
Yeah.
Did you guys spar with him?
Nope, that's the one that Money has not sparred with yet. And maybe the next time when we come up, they'll be able to get in there with him. Be able to get in with Dion. Dion's good people, man. He's a good Facebook friend of mine, and just we saw him a few weeks back. Oh man, I tell you what, just down home, but he's a powerhouse.
Yeah, he is. I actually watched him spar when I was down there, man, and he ain't no joke, man.
No, he's no joke. Yeah, if you don't have your act together in front of him, well, you could be seeing some stars and could be flat on your back if you're not careful.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna reach out to him because I want him to come on the show tomorrow.
Okay.
Kurt, do you know about? Are you familiar with Dion Nicholson?
No, I'm not.
He's a cruiserweight. He's 11-0 with 11 knockouts, man.
Yeah.
He's from Alabama. He's from Tuscaloosa, right? Money, I believe he's from
Tuscaloosa area. Mm-hmm, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he's from there, man. And I watched this kid spar out there, Kurt, man. And this dude, man, he reminds you of Anthony Yard, man. He put you right in the same mindset of Anthony Yard. He's been,
you know something? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he's been calling out Anthony Yard as well. But this kid, man, he's older. He's kind of fast tracking his career, I believe. You know, because he's 29, I believe, right? Right on money.
Yeah, I think he's 20. Yeah, like 29, 28, 29, something like that.
Yeah.
Started a little late.
Mm-hmm.
No, we know him from the amateurs, you know, coming up. And I knew that looking at his style, I said, you know, he's a nice amateur, but he's made for the pros. And the moment that he turned professional, you could see why. So
yeah,
his style is best suited for the pros. I mean, when you start knocking people out with a jab, you know, that makes a huge statement all in itself, though.
Yeah, that kid got power, man. And Kurt, man, this kid is so I'm gonna have him on the show tomorrow. I'm gonna try to get him on the show tomorrow. I know he spars around this time. The time we come on, because it's 5 o'clock down in Alabama. So when we start, he's usually he's actually in camp because he's looking to get on Wilder's undercard.
Yep.
So but he's hey Kurt, man, this kid, man. I watched this kid, man. He's so calm, cool, and you know, it don't matter what you doing there, man. He don't get rattled. This dude is the good, man. I like that.
I'm gonna check him out.
Yeah, his name is
Dion Nicholson.
Yeah, Dion Nicholson. It's DeAndre Nicholson, but it's Dion Nicholson. And the kid is a absolute man. And he's a real humble dude, man. Real humble dude. Yep. Real humble, man. Dude,
no doubt about it.
He worked hard, man. And they just built different down there in Alabama, man. Look at this dude. I'm like, man, this dude, he's built like Deontay and Marcellus. You know, he got that kind of that Anthony Yard. He's built like Anthony Yard, Kurt, but he's just more fluid than Anthony Yard to me. Yeah, am I right, Money? Am I assessing?
That's right. He's real smooth, man. The guy's got a beautiful jab.
Beautiful.
He throws good combinations when he lets his hands go. Has good counter right hand. But the main thing is his punches flow smooth as a cruiserweight. You know, he's not a big cruiserweight, but he's an effective cruiserweight. And he can slip punches pretty doggone good. And I tell you what, his boxing ability is very impressive as a cruiserweight. He's going to give a lot of people trouble. He's going to give a lot of trouble. He's got pretty good reach for his height. You know, not being a really tall guy, but he's got a very good reach. Kind of like puts you in the mind of a Hagler in a sense. He's got deceptively long arms.
Yeah, I like that kid, man. And his attitude was awesome on top of it.
He's a workhorse. He is a workhorse without question. Yep.
He was the dude he was in there with, man. He was putting all types of hands on him, man. But he knew from the opening bell. The thing that I liked about him is he knew from the opening bell, he hit the dude with a couple of jabs, bum, 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 like pistons, boy. And the dude wasn't reacting well to the jabs. So instead of him just going all out and, you know, he could have knocked the dude out, or he could have, you know, he just, you know, he worked on the inside. He went into, he let the dude know what he was about. And then for the rest of the sparring session, man, he just went, you know, he just practiced, was honing his craft, man. He was working on the inside and things of that nature. He could have easily disposed of dude, but you know, that's what I like the most about him, is that he identified it. And then at one point in time in the sparring, dude looked like he was quitting. And then he caught a second wind, and he was about to get out the ring. Dude looked like he was quitting, and Dion was getting ready to get out the ring because he didn't even come to spar that day. And he wanted to get out the ring, and then the dude was like, "Oh, I want to go some more. I want to go some more." And he was like, "Okay." He just shrugged his shoulders. Okay. And even then, he didn't feel like he had to prove a point. You know, he went back to work, just work on the inside. He used it as practice. You know, some dudes get in there and they there to prove a point. You know, he didn't know when he first got in the ring. Obviously, he didn't know what dude was about. It was the first time, so he let the jab go to let dude know what he was about. And once he realized that he, you know, could have easily controlled the situation if he wanted to, he went about his practice, man. So I like that, man. But let's get to this Regis Prograis, Josh Taylor fight, man. What you guys think about that, Kurt?
Oh man, this is one of the best fights of the year. Highly anticipated. You know, when you have a unification fight, two of the best fighters in the whole 140-pound division. It's a 50-50 fight. I favor Regis Prograis. For Prograis to win, he's going to have to fight mid-range to close range and break Josh Taylor down to the body, you know, because he can do it. You know, he's built like a tank. For Taylor to win, he has to keep Prograis on the tail end punches, you know, keep him outside and box him and use his footwork. Something tells me that Prograis will execute his game plan better than Taylor. And I got Prograis by unanimous decision or late round stoppage in a very competitive fight. I think Prograis' will is stronger than Taylor's. He's that kind of fighter. You know, I like to study fighters out of the ring, and so I like Prograis by late round TKO.
What you think, Money?
I think, well, mainly a lot on the same line as Kurt. You know, Prograis is going to, all right, knowing that you're over in Scotland, okay, you're going to have to fight 5 times harder, you know, because they're not looking for you to walk out of that place with the title. They're not looking for you to do that. So that is going to force Prograis to really have to turn it up on Taylor. If he can go to the body, as mentioned before, it is going to cause a nightmare for Josh, because most Europeans, I'm not saying all, but most Europeans that I've seen, even technical fighters, when you nail them to the gut, they all turn into cotton pretty quick. And but we've seen this before. So that's something that he's going to have to do. I'm pretty sure he's going to, you know, feel his way and use his boxing ability at first. But once Prograis starts landing, if Josh Taylor cannot keep him on the outside, Josh just might find himself on the canvas. He just might. And Prograis has the kind of style in order to really test that more than any other opponent that Josh Taylor has ever been in front of. So, but I don't think Prograis is going to waste time with him. You know, he comes up out of the hard, mean streets of New Orleans, you know, area code 504, man. So it's like, hey, he's going to bring the heat. So I'm expecting him to win.
Yeah, did you? I just finished watching I watched it twice. The face off that they had, or the gloves is off.
Okay.
I was. It just made me more excited, man, because neither guy's going to back down. You know, I just hope that Regis Prograis don't get in there and get outboxed and get frustrated, because I believe that Josh Taylor has the ability to do so. You know, if he gets in there and looking for one punch and just looking to knock him out, I just think that he should just go in there and put you know, controlled aggression on Josh Taylor, and I think that he'll get him up out of there, man. But did you guys see the gloves is off, the episode that they had?
No, I'm gonna watch it tonight.
Yeah, did you see it, Money?
No, I didn't see it. No.
Yeah, well, it was Josh Taylor. You know, he was admitting, you know, what's the guy's name? The mediator, forgot his name, but he asked Josh Taylor. He said, "Do you think you can intimidate Regis Prograis?" And he said, "Yeah." So Regis Prograis looks at him. He goes, "Well, do you think I'm intimidated right now?" And he says, "No, not right now, but you can be." And Josh, well, if you ain't intimidating him right now, then he said, "But you can be." He said, "Nah, I can't be intimidated." Josh Taylor tells him, "Oh, this guy, all he did was fight bums." He said, "Yeah, well, you know, whatever you say. Well, I'm fighting you now, so it don't matter who I fought in the past. I'm fighting you now." And Josh Taylor tried to tell him. He said, "I thought you was looking for a way out." He said, "No, I just wanted them to tighten up some things on my contract. There was no way I was turning down the Ali Trophy, a unification bout, and a chance to fight you. because all I wanted to do was fight you. Yeah, Johnny Nelson. Thank you, Pat Scott. Johnny Nelson was in there.
Okay, Johnny Nelson. Okay, okay.
And, you know, he's a homer. You know, he's a homer. So,
yeah,
you know, he tells Regis Prograis, he goes, it's real tough to fight over here in the UK. It's real tough. You think you can handle the pressure?
It's not.
That's what he told him.
No,
and he goes, you think you can handle the pressure? And Regis tells him, he said, I don't know if I can or if I can't. I can't tell you till after the fight. I like how he answered. You know, he wasn't you know, just overly, yeah, I'll be able to handle it. He said, I don't know. I won't know until I step in the ring, but I've been wanting to fight here in the UK, and I wanted to fight him, you know. So he says, I'm turning down a unification bout, a chance for the Ali trophy, and the chance to fight in the UK. He said the only thing I wanted to do was tighten up some things on my contract. I wasn't looking to get out this fight. And Johnny Nelson kept asking, so you wasn't looking for a way out? And he kept asking Josh Taylor, do you think he was looking for a way out? You know, so what you guys think about that?
Johnny Nelson.
Don't think. Oh, go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
You know, brothers and sorry. Yeah, look, Johnny Nelson is about the UK first, everything else, whatever afterwards. I mean, I've seen this guy up front. Personal, and that's just how Johnny is. If you're from the UK, you're one of his, so he's going to look out for you and try to run circles, run something into the ground, hoping that they get a response that they're looking for. They're just not going to get that with Regis.
Go ahead, Kurt.
Yeah, you know, Money's right. Piggyback off that, you know, of course, it's natural. You know, you root for your guy. You know, Johnny Nelson is like that. It's nothing wrong with it because that's what I expect. But Regis Prograis is no way, in no shape or form, is going to be intimidated. He knows he's fighting in Scotland. I don't get that from him. He's not going to be rattled. That's not in his vocabulary at all. You know, he's tough, man, and I don't think they're afraid of each other. I'm just glad the fight is happening. It's a fight that boxing needs. And we done had Vosnick versus Beterbiev last week. Now we got Prograis and Taylor. So these are the fights that needs to be made in boxing, you know, and we're getting them, you know. So kudos to both men. I don't care if it's in Scotland or United States or China. We're getting the fights that the sport of boxing and the fans need.
Yep,
I agree.
We getting some huge fights, man. You know, we got the Shakur Stevenson fight, and we got the backstory with his situation and the situation with him dating his opponent's sister, and you know, now they're using it as a promotion. You know, they didn't start off by using it that way, as you can see from the way Shakur Stevenson was reacting to them asking him, did he even date his opponent's sister? And he was saying, no, I don't know what you're talking about. And, you know, and Fred from Barbershop Conversations, brother Fred, came out and he was saying they should use that as a promotional tool. And lo and behold, they come and right in between the fight, the fight Saturday, you see them promoting it in that manner, using that as a promotional tool. Unbelievable. What you guys think about the Shakur Stevenson fight? Go ahead, Kurt.
Well, you know, this is smart. This is not the first time a woman came between fighters. There was rumors about Roberto Benitez dating Sugar Ray Leonard's sister before they fought. I know for a fact that Terry Norris fought a guy by the name of Paul Vaden. It was over a woman. Yeah, it was over a woman, you know. So this is not the first time as, you know, a fighter, whether it be an aunt or a sister or a girlfriend, whatever. Hey, it's smart marketing. I would do the same thing. I was like, hey, let's latch on to this. Let's promote it. You know, we're going to, you know, bring up, you know, you dating his sister, you fighting them. So that's a conflict of interest. You know, it's smart to get Shakur out there and his opponent as well, Gonzalez. So, you know, I'm not surprised. It happened before, and it's a great marketing tool.
Mm-hmm. That was Hanson say, yeah, Paulie Malignaggi, Adrian Broner. Yeah, you're right. Forgot about that.
There you have it. Yep, there you have it. Yep.
What you think about it, Money?
Well, I think it's going to be a great fight. You know, it's going to be a test for both guys. But what stands out is like what we're talking about right now. You know, Shakur dating, you know, uh, his opponent's sister. And I saw her back in the amateurs back in the day, and I figured, I said, you know something, this young lady's probably going to go a pretty good ways. You know, you could see it back in 2014, 2015 time frame. But irregardless of that, it should sell well, and may the best man win. I'm thinking that Shakur is going to do his thing, but hey, you have a brother who's of this young lady who's fired up, so there's a lot of pride on the line. So there's no telling what we'll see in that ring that night.
Mm-hmm. And I think Shakur Stevenson, I think Joet Gonzalez is going to definitely push him to the limit because pride is on the line. You know what I mean? So he ain't going to go in there.
That's the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I call the Buster Douglas factor, man. That's that Buster Douglas factor. You just can't measure that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't.
Pride can make a man do a lot of things you didn't think he was capable of doing. So, I think just the fact that his family is going to be present, the whole situation with his sister, and he said that he disrespected his father, his mother, and all of that. He's using that as motivation. I still think he's going to lose, but I think that he's going to make it a better fight than it would have been if he didn't have this chip on his shoulder. But if he does win,
right?
Where do you guys, do you guys see it? He said if he wins the fight, he wants to get a fight with forgot his name at the moment. I forgot what he said, who he called out. But he said if he don't get that fight, he's moving up to 130. And my question is, Gary Russell is right there. And Gary Russell said he's willing to unify with him. Do you guys think that that's a route that he should go with, facing Gary Russell? He said that he wanted to face what's the other champion at 126? It's slipping my mind right now.
No, it wasn't. Oh boy, he called them out. I heard him in an interview.
Yeah, he called them out.
Right. But just to cook on that, I don't think he should fight Gary Russell. He needs more experience, man. I mean, he's very confident. He's a young champion. He may get past Gonzalez, but fighting Gary Russell, that's a whole nother kettle of fish, man. Russell is experienced. He's going to give looks that Shakur has never seen. I would concentrate on this fight, and I would build his resume. I would keep him active, and then go for the big names, man. But I think right now, like fighters like Haney and Shakur, they're very young and they want the world. And I like their aggression, but they should just pump.
You there, Kurt?
Hello?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Kurt.
Yeah, I think that's my opinion on Shakur Stevenson, that he should just pump the brakes, be more patient, stay active, get some experience, and then aim for the big names.
Emmanuel Joseph Bain said Josh Warrington. Yeah, that's who we called out.
Okay, Josh Warrington. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. I look at it like this, man. Let's say if he wants to fight Gary Russell, well, that's awesome. And he goes out and let's say he wins. That's even better. Here's the downside to that. Learning curve is extremely steep from that point on, because you can't go back and fill in any blanks from that point on. You can't do that. That door is closed. So what's going to happen is every time you move up in weight, let's see what happens. Every time you have someone that dominates so much at one weight class, they just keep moving up. And if you mess around and you unify titles, you have no other choice but to move up again. And you're going to start at the top. You're not going to start somewhere like a little bit off in the middle. You're going to start somewhere off at the top. Therefore, you cannot afford mistakes as you really start to move up. especially those higher weight classes. It may not seem like much at the moment, you know, a few pounds here and there, but if someone knows how to throw it just right, they can really turn your whole world upside down.
Mm-hmm.
Take your time, work your way, you know, and sure, you're gonna have. It's up to you. If you want it right now, go for it right now. You know, you get the door closes on Earth because it's straightforward from that point on. Willing to deal with that because your opponent, your promoter is now forced to spend huge amounts of cash on you, and that takes time. That does. It takes time. So it's getting kind of like the business aspect of it, but yeah. I wish I wish those guys the best. I really do.
I agree with you 1,000%, both of you guys. And I would much rather see him face Josh Warrington myself. He said that he wants to do so in the UK. That would be a huge fight. That would be a huge fight. And I think that that's a fight that's going to give him some, real experience, real feedback. I think that Josh Warrington pride, we said the pride factor means a lot. And being at home and being the fact that Shakur continues to call him out in the tender stages in his career, and willing to come to his backyard, it's kind of like he's trying to follow in the same footsteps that, remember, Terrence Crawford did that with Ricky Burns. He went over to the UK, and we know how close they are. So it's like he's following that same blueprint, and I definitely think he could beat Josh Warrington. But I think at the time Terrence Crawford beat Ricky Burns had already lost, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But Josh Warrington is undefeated, so this would be even more of a bigger feather in the cap. So I would love to see him fight Josh Warrington. Go over there and fight Josh Warrington, man. But he said he's gonna move to 130. How you guys think he'll do at 130 at this current time?
Well, he's young. He's still growing. I think the weight from 126, 130 is only 4 pounds. I don't think it'd be a major difference. I just don't want him to go too fast, man. Be young fighters. Like I said, they want the whole world. And take it easy. Be patient. You'll get the fight. Build your resume, build your brand, your name, and everything. Right. And Errol Spence did it right. Why do you think he's successful? Terrence Crawford did it right. Why do you think he's successful? So they both went overseas and did what they had to do, and they just took it fight by fight. They fought better opponents each time they stepped into the ring, and now look at them. Two of the world's best fighters. They was patient. So that's what I want for these young fighters to do. If I was them, I will follow their blueprint. Because if say like Shakur Stevenson, he gets the Gary Russell fight and he loses by knockout or TKO or he gets shut out, will he be the same? So you gotta think about that too, because some of the young fighters, they not built like that. We just talking about money, how he lost, and it doesn't it's no skin off his back. But that doesn't bode well for any young fighter. If he loses, he may lose confidence altogether.
And Kurt, and to piggyback over what you just said, Kurt, look how it affected Jermell Charlo in his loss, man. He's anxious, he's like, it really bothered him, that loss he took, and then there's some fighters that just never recover from a loss, I think that Jermell Charlo is definitely going to bounce back, because I believe that he's going to pay attention to detail, but you could tell it visibly, it affected him.
First, that really got to him. He was kind of out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was crying in the ring. It even affected his brother's performance.
Mm-hmm.
It did. You could see it on Jamal's face, man, when he was about to come out. You could see it. It was written all over him. It really, and that tells you, how something like that can really throw someone off, and even those around you.
Mm-hmm. And it's that Mayweather effect, man. But let me ask you guys a question, man.
Okay.
How do you think Shakur Stevenson would fare against Devin Haney, man?
I like Devin Haney. Oh, go ahead, Money.
No, go ahead, Kurt. Go ahead, man.
I like Devin Haney. I think because I wasn't big on Shakur at first. He improved a lot. You know, he's gotten a lot better, but I wasn't crazy about him at first. I was more on Devin Haney's bandwagon than Shakur Stevenson. And they both have a lot of upside, but right now I would take Devin Haney, man. He's more fluid, more athletic naturally. His genetics is better, you know, and he seems to be learning at a faster pace than Shakur. Not saying Shakur is not learning, you know, but Devin Haney right now is one of the hottest young fighters in boxing, man. You know, so I would say Haney.
Go ahead, Money.
Okay, for me, I guess because both guys know each other so well, it is extremely difficult for me to pick in between the two because based on skill, because it's going to come down to their skill factor. I don't think it's going to come down to who can punch harder. I think it's going to come down to skill factor. Man, I'm telling you right now, you go, and it would not surprise me to see split decision.
You still there, Money?
Because Devin exponent in terms of all of the skills about him.
Yeah, I think it'll look.
I'm still here. Can you hear me?
I think it's gonna look a lot like
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I can hear you, Money. I think Money, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yep.
I think it's gonna look a lot. I think as they progress, and should this fight come to fruition sometime later down the line, I think it's gonna look a lot like Mayweather Zab Judah fight. But the difference is Shakur Stevenson is, you know, a lot more focused and locked into his craft than Zab Judah was. He's not going to be out partying and hanging out and things of that nature. I mean, we can't predict the future because he's very, very young. They're both very, very young. But I just feel like, you know, it'll look a lot like that fight. You know, I think that Shakur Stevenson's confidence in what he did to Devin Haney in sparring, and he got the upper hand on Devin Haney in sparring. So I think that should he stay undefeated as time goes on, and you know they get more experience, and that later down the line, I think it's going to look a lot like that Floyd Mayweather Zab Judah fight. Am I wrong in my assessment?
No, that's a pretty good comparison.
Yeah, because
and it's just going to be chess. It's going to be a chess match, and so I really really like both guys. I really like both of them, and I just have to be honest. I have a difficult time. For me, split decision either way.
Absolutely, man. You're not wrong, man. You know, Mayweather Judah, Tony McCallum, the first fight, Pernell Whitaker versus James Buddy McGirt. You know, it's going to be like that. You got two high skill level fighters that's like looking at himself in the mirror, man. And, you know, don't expect a lot of punches to land. That's just how it goes. It becomes a science rather than a, you know, boxing match, you know, chess match, as Monday said. So, you know, let's see what happens down the road, man, because I'll be looking forward to something like that. We have we have some very good fighters on the horizon, man.
Yeah, I you know, I always say this: the future of the sport of boxing is in great hands, man. I want to talk about something real quick too. When I was in camp with Deontay Wilder, man, I put up some footage of him using that jab, man, and I don't know if you guys saw the footage I put up. You know, him using the jab, man, but man, oh man, the gym was 120 degrees, and this dude got the flu. And, the way he was working, he nearly passed out twice. He truly nearly passed out twice. You know, I was sweating in there. You know, and Money, you've been there, so you know they got that big propane heater going, man, and blowing right on the ring, man. It's 120 degrees in there, man. And you know, this dude, man, his work ethic was frightening, man. You know, especially under those conditions, man. But I believe the jab, he was focusing on the jab a lot, you know, and he's smarter than what people think they give him credit for. I think Money fell off. He's smarter than what people give him credit for. You know, he pays a lot more attention to detail than most people believe. But Kurt, did you see the footage that I put up of him using the jab and stuff?
Yeah, I saw it, man. He was in beast mode. I saw it. Very athletic, man.
And what did you think about it?
Well, I'm not surprised because a lot of people say it's power, which me too. But it's the athleticism, man. Now I see how he was working on his footwork. He was sparring. The guy was imitating Ortiz, and he was just going through the motions, man, and spinning and pivoting. And I was like, I think Ortiz going to sleep, man. I said 7 or 8, man, but it might be earlier than that.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be earlier. Hey, Money, did you see any of that footage that I put up?
No. I think I got this.
I think you having a bad connection.
I think I got disconnected.
You still there, Money? Yeah,
I'm
Kurt,
still
man.
here. I think I have bad.
Yeah, you got bad connection.
I have bad reception where I am.
Yeah. But man, I thought that, man, I watched it. He did something, right? He scared everybody. He said, "Oh man, y'all," and I recorded it, man. I'm gonna put this footage up too. He at the end of the session was over. The on the outside of the ropes is real. It's real narrow. That little where you could walk on the outside of the ropes on the ring.
Right, the apron. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and hey man, when everything was over with no hands, he. And Money, you've been to the gym, so where where the bench and stuff are, everything is over. He jumped, no hands, jumped over the ropes onto that side of the apron.
Ooh.
And everybody in the gym said, "Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing?" And he said, "Hey man, all y'all some scary MFers. What y'all scared of?" And Blue, that wasn't you over there screaming, was you? I said, man, listen, I thought you was getting ready to take a spill, bro.
Whoa, that's serious.
Yeah, no hands.
Because that's a small ring apron. It's not a lot of room.
There's no room over there. And
not at all.
He landed on his feet, both feet, no hands. Yeah, he still had his gloves on. He never touched the ropes.
Very athletic, man. Man, that's different for
that's
a heavyweight.
Extremely impressive. Yep.
Yeah.
And then get, oh man, look at y'all all scared. Everybody in the ring. Oh man, whoa, because Fox was there. Fox was there, and they were recording. And he jumped over the man. He did that, man. I'm like, whoa, everybody, man.
Wow.
But that just goes to show the athletic ability of this dude, man. That dude is freakishly athletic, man. And like I said, he had the flu again while I was down there. Again.
Okay.
And it's like, for the Ortiz fight, the first time he had the flu, but the entire time all he kept saying was, ain't no excuses. We ain't got excuses. Ain't no excuses. The flu, what? And on top of it, Vada came and tested him at the same time.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So it's that dude athletic ability, man. That's what how we say speed generates power.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's his athletic ability that generates that power.
Yep.
You just have some people, the way that they're set up, they're just like that. Period.
Yeah.
Just accept it for what it is.
He took no breaks, nothing, man. Focus, just locked in, man. So how do y'all see the Ortiz fight going now? Because I see it ending after what I saw. I see it ending far earlier than I initially thought. But go ahead, Kurt.
How many rounds you give it, Blue?
I don't think it's going past the 5th, man.
I said 7. I'm gonna cut it down to 5, man. I don't, because I just think Wilder's upside, man. After the Brazil knockout, he's in his prime, man. And Ortiz hasn't, looked that impressive to me, man. And I just think, man, Wilder, man, power and freakish athleticism. People don't understand, man. No boys down south, they're built differently, man. And I think that it's going to be on display, man. Real talk. I think it's going to be on display. I think his jab. I heard he was working on body punching, man. So he put that together, man. I think. And I like Ortiz, but I think he'd be out of there.
Yeah, me too, man. What you think, Money?
Yeah. If Ortiz does not make an impression early, it would not surprise me to see him go down in the third round. If he goes down somewhere in the third round or before, that fight is over. Right there, that fight is over. But if he's able to land a shot on Wilder and get him hurt just a little bit, just stun him just a little bit, then we might be in for something special. But personally, I think Father Time has caught up with Ortiz. He hasn't looked quite like what he did before Wilder. I mean, we just have to admit that overall. And if he gets caught short with that right hand or even a left hook that Wilder seems to have discovered now, I tell you what, man, it's probably going to look worse than his previous fight with Brazil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the most important thing, the most impressive thing, I should say, when I went down there, was that in the gym, and I'm not gonna go into detail, but he was just screaming out so many things that he noticed, so many things. He studied Ortiz, and
okay.
It although he won that fight, I could tell it bothered him, right? That it was even competitive, that seventh round, or any of those things, right?
Right.
I don't know if it bothered him or the fact that it made him go back to the drawing board and say, I need to study, I need, especially Ortiz, and he explained to a T to me why he got hurt in the seventh round. And he explained that he didn't listen to Mark Reland. He said that, I tried to bait him into making a mistake, and then I made a mistake. And he said he buzzed me. He said, and when he buzzed me, I wasn't hurt, but everything was ringing. He said everything was he said everything was like that. He said, and then I made another mistake, and then he hurt me. He said, but the fact that nobody gives me credit for being in there with an undefeated, confident southpaw Cuban fighter with power, for surviving that round. When he buzzed me and then hurt me, I was crafty enough to survive that round, and people gave him credit. He said that people gave they took away from what I did, and gave the credit to the referee for giving me extra time and things of that nature. So he admitted to his mistakes in that seventh round. A la what we always say about Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua don't realize where he came up short, where he went wrong with Andrew Ruiz, and that's the reason why he's gonna come up short again. Deontay understands the mistakes. He said he said that he tried to get Ortiz out of there in the seventh round. He tried to bait him so he could catch him and get him out of there. He said, but he wasn't ready to go. And that's the mistake that I made. I underestimated, him as a fighter, and he wasn't ready to go. What y'all think about that? Go ahead, Kurt.
That's very interesting, man, for him to admit that, that he made a mistake. Wow. No, it's when you have a fighter that can admit that he made a mistake and he got hurt, and a lot of fighters be like, no, I was never hurt, I never buzzed. So for him to say that, that means that he's true to his fans and true to us, man. So he knows what not to do the next time, to put himself in that position, man. I just found it very interesting that he would candidly say, you know what, I made a mistake. You know what, I got hurt. You know what, everything was ringing. I've been studying Ortiz, man. So, you know, that's a positive sign, because if he wouldn't admit he was never hurt, like a lot of fighters do, you'd be like, ah, you was hurt. You was hurt in the 7th round, you know. But you know, it's good that he admitted. So, you know, kudos to Deontay Wilder.
What you think, Money?
Yeah, a man or a woman, just a person in general, who can admit to their mistakes can grow much faster. They will have a better bounce back in anything that they do in life in general. In this case, in boxing, it is going to be much easier for Wilder to go out there and execute his plan the next time around rather than being in denial. Someone that's in denial, they normally set themselves up for failure later on down the line. It's that's a fact. That, you know, that's normally a fact. But, you know, Wilder, he grew from it. He grew from that already. And we saw that in the Brazil fight, the way he came out with, I mean, the level of conviction against Brazil, and simply sent him home. He sent his spirit to another country, you know, in that one instance when he took him out, man. So I think you're going to see somewhat the same thing. A little cautious here and there starting out at first, because you do have a technician in Ortiz. But I'll tell you what, I'll key in on Ortiz's jab. When Ortiz gets ready to jab, every time he throws his right jab, his right foot comes up off of the canvas every single time, and his head leans to the right almost every single time. He tells you when he's getting ready to throw that punch. So knowing that, hey, just being able to slide out of the way a little bit and be able to counter, hey, you can eat him up like Pac-Man all day long. But that's if you pick up on it. That's the biggest thing that I picked up on him, on Ortiz. Yeah, just in general. But there's so many other things as well. But yeah, that was definitely one key point right there altogether, his jab. His jab, even though it's a good one, it's his biggest downfall. And I'm sure once Wilder lands the right hand and probably follows through with the left hook, it might be over fairly quick. It just depends.
Yeah, and
I see Wilder will win. I really don't see him losing, but anything can happen. But the best chance for Ortiz to win is early. He's got to come out like Hagler Hearns, man. He's got to be the Hagler in this fight. If he's not, he's going to get blown out. He's going to go down hard.
And I think that you know, the biggest thing I took away from what Wilder said was his attention to his legacy, how important his legacy is, and that I believe that he wasn't too happy with the performance, and he wants to prove himself, not us, and not, you know, not the judges, but to himself, you know, that he could blow Ortiz out the water. You know what I mean? And I think that the fact that he went home after, you knocked this man out. You knocked him out, right? Nobody was truly calling for the rematch, right? So you knocked this man out. But the fact that you went home and studied Ortiz tells me that in your brain you was like, I ain't like my performance, and I need to run that back. I need to clarify some things. And that means a lot. That means a lot. You know, like people always say Floyd Mayweather, when he fought Castillo and when he fought Madonna, he had to run it back because, you know, people was calling for it, was controversy, so on and so forth. But the biggest thing I took away from that was Floyd Mayweather wanted to prove to himself that he could beat them easier than he did. He didn't like what took place the first time. And so that's why he immediately rematched them. Am I right?
No, you're right. You're correct in what you're saying. Yeah, you're right, man.
Yeah. And I just think that Deontay Wilder, you know, at this point in time with this Ortiz fight, even though he admitted to me and Evander Holyfield said it, Evander Holyfield told him he was out of his mind for taking this fight. He was not taking this fight, you know, going back in there when no other heavyweight is going to give him the opportunity, right? And so Deontay said, listen, this fight is going to soften him up for everybody else to get confident enough to step in the ring with him. He said, but this might be Ortiz's last fight. And
yeah, you know something? I'm thinking that it just might be Ortiz's last fight. If he gets bombed out of there, I'm pretty sure he's going to retire. I agree.
What you think, Kurt?
It just shows you the heart. You know, a dangerous heavyweight like that with that pedigree that a lot of people thought. You see, when Ortiz knocked out Brian Jennings, you know, nobody wanted to fight Ortiz, you know. And the first fight, Deontay Wilder fought him and don't have to fight him again, but elected to fight him, you know. It kind of reminded me of Mayweather and Castillo, because when Castillo gave Mayweather that tough fight, Mayweather had to prove to himself that it was a fluke. I can beat him better than that, and they fought a second time right away. So it kind of reminded me of Wilder and Ortiz. Wilder didn't like what people were saying while he was hurt, and the ref gave him extra time. So they running it back. I'm like, man, you know, you fighting them again. You don't need to fight them, but you know, who are we to say, because you don't know what's going on in that man's head. These are warriors, man. They want to prove to themselves that, you know, they say, you know, I won and it's flukish, so I'm gonna show the world again. And like Money said, anything can happen in boxing, but I like Wilder in this fight, you know, mid-round TKO, you know, but you know, you just never know. Only takes one punch on the chin can change everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's true.
and that leads me into the next situation. Like you said, one punch, man. We lost Patrick Day, unfortunately. And that guy, man, that kid, man, I knew that kid since he was 12 years old, man. 11, 12 years old. You know,
Wow.
I knew him. I did my charity event, donated to Coach Joe Higgins. I actually worked out there. My cousin still trains there. I know Donnie. I know everybody over at that gym, man. My mom knew them. My wife knew them. You know what I mean? And that was an unfortunate situation, man. My mother was actually, she don't even like boxing. My mother don't like boxing at all. And my mom, you know, watched that fight with me because obviously she knew who they was, and just to root him on, you know, because, you know, he was talking about it at the, you know, his opportunities, not this particular fight, because this was back in May when I did it, but it's just his opportunities to prove himself, man. And my mom don't like the sport of boxing, man. She didn't come to watch me play football. She never liked me playing football. She comes to my kids' games, you know, when they play football, because that's her grandkids, you know. But you know, at this point in time, she don't like combat sports. You know, she always cringe, you know. So she said, you know, she always go, oh yeah, you know, your head, ooh, she always do that, ooh, you know. And so when we was watching the fight and he fell, man, her reaction, you know, when he fell, you know, her reaction was, it put me in a different state. I'm like, man, I hope he's all right. You know, as soon as he fell, man, when he was laying there, I tried to call everybody I knew from there, you know, make sure, check on him, man. And unfortunately, he succumbed to the injuries, man. And so my thing to you guys, you know, I saw on ESPN, I saw, you know, Bob Arum, I saw Matt Kellerman, I saw a lot of people talking about, and this is what I was getting at with Money, MP4, you know, is the, you know, what could be done to, you know, I mean, it's not much we could do to these freak accidents, because, you know, more so than anything, he hit his head on the canvas and that he succumbed to it. You know, that did it. You know, and I saw that Bob and a lot of these guys, a lot of people are talking about this, the weigh-ins being a part of the problem that's contributing to these passing away, these deaths in the sport, man. What do you guys think that could be done to prevent this, man? What do you think, Kurt?
Well, they tried everything. They tried to, you know, lessen the rounds from 15 to 12. People still dying. They did it in '82 when Duke Kim passed away, when he fought Ray Boom Boom Mancini. And then, you know, they have physicals, checkups, and, you know, one time they was talking about a headgear, but boxing would not be the same, you know, with headgear. You can't do it like that. That's like taking a shower with a raincoat. You can't have headgear in the amateurs, but not in the professional ranks, man. You know, unfortunately, and you know, people say, "Oh, the ref." You don't know how hurt a guy is, man. You know, when Gerald McClellan, even though he's not dead, unfortunately, you know, he's a vegetable. You know, he was blinking, not warning him, you know, during the fight until later. He was like blinking real heavy, and then he ended up like that. You don't know what goes inside of your body. Some guys can take a pounding for 20 years and nothing won't happen. Marvin Hagler or Julio Cesar or Chavez Sr. You look at them and you never thought they was fighters. I mean, they talk normal, and other fighters like Tommy Hearns and how Jerry Quarry ended up, man, of the mind of a 5-year-old. You just don't know. Neurologically, it's a tricky thing. You just don't know. It could be something that was building up. It could be one punch. It could be two. And the referee, I rather, you don't know when a guy's hurt and a referee stop it and they try to blame the referee. Oh, he stopped it too late. But you don't know that though. His job and rules and regulations, and when you see a guy incapacitated, groggy, unresponsive, you stop the fight. And then when something happens to that fighter, they say, "Oh, it was one punch too late." And nobody wants to get robbed, when you in a boxing match and he stopped it too soon. Then you're gonna have arguing. So it's kind of tough, man. People dying auto racing all the time. Unfortunately, since the turn of the century, you have like 500 plus deaths in boxing, man. So it's gonna happen. I wish it wouldn't happen, but it's gonna happen. Jimmy Doyle, Jimmy Garcia, I can go down the line, and we regulated the sport, man. But it's a brutal sport. It's just something that going to continue to happen, man. I wish it wouldn't, but that's the reality.
Yeah, what do you think, Money?
Okay. Good stuff from Kurt, man. Very good stuff. It is hard. It's extremely difficult. But here's something that I think is interesting. Some of these guys who have unfortunately passed away may have been severely dehydrated. And when they came to the weigh-in, they were just staggering, looking left and right, just like zombies halfway out of it. If you don't rehydrate or find a good way how to rehydrate the right way to get that fluid, not only back in your body, but around your brain. Whether people may know this or not, you lessen the amount of fluid around your brain when you're dehydrating yourself like that. You need that fluid around your brain. So when you go in there, you start taking all of these shots, that's less of a cushion of that fluid that's around the brain and causing more damage than normal. Okay. And all of a sudden the guy goes down and they get up, but man, they look horrible getting up. It's like, it didn't look like that hard of a shot. Just like, what's his name? Gabby Canizales, this was back in 86, he stopped this one guy, I forgot the guy's name, and Canizales was the underdog.
We're talking about Richie Sandoval.
There you go. Thanks a lot. Sandoval got up and he looked weak. He looked horrible. And when he went down a couple of other times, but the main thing was it was found out he was dehydrated. You can't play around with that stuff. You have to rehydrate the right way. Look, I would rather people to get angry at me for stopping a fight a little bit too soon than rather too late. I'd just rather people just talk about me 20, 25, 30 years from now. I'm sorry. But if I let that fight go too long, everyone and their brother will point at me like I'm a murderer. So I'm sorry. I'd just rather just take the hit for the team by stopping it a little bit too early. Some people may disagree, and they have the right to do so, but I'd rather stop it a little early rather than too late. But that is about the referee knowing the fighter, the condition of the fighter, the history of the fighter. That's just my take on it.
What do you guys think about because most of these guys, like I was saying, the ESPN, Max Keller and Bob Arum, a couple of other people I heard talk about it. They want to eliminate the day before weigh-in. They want to have same-day weigh-in.
No. That was the reason why they went away from same-day weigh-ins. They went away from same-day weigh-ins because of dehydration. Then on top of that, that gave you a chance in order to rehydrate your body, get yourself back together again, feel halfway straight. You go in there, for example, you take someone like, what's that, 154-pound division. Oh my goodness, what's his name? He lost to J-Rock.
Jared Hurd.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thanks a lot. Jared Hurd probably comes from about 190 plus pounds down to 154. Okay, he probably comes from around about that. All right. So all of a sudden, you get this guy to lose all of that weight probably within the last few days, last week or so. And all of a sudden, boom, they step on the scale. Okay, about 8 hours from now, or not too long from now, you're in the ring. No, it's just not going to work. That made it worse. Those same day weigh-ins. Well, those guys, the struggle is epic. So what would happen is what they're telling you, what they're not telling you, they're saying, okay, instead of you fighting at 154, you'll fight at 168 now. That's what they're telling you without actually saying it.
Mm-hmm. What you think, Kurt?
You know, this is not a coincidence that fighters like Bernard Hopkins and Marvin Hagler and Floyd Mayweather Jr., that they're normal and they've been in the ring for years and years, because the key to all this is keeping shape in between fights. See, that's the key. You know, so when you got fighters like Ricky Hatton and Roberto Duran, who blew up like balloons in between fights. I seen Duran wolf down at Victor's Cafe in Manhattan. That was one of his main spots. I was standing right there in front of him. He used to wolf down big juicy steaks and gallons of orange juice. That was his favorite meal. He's a wolf it down like it was nobody's business. I'm like, how do this guy make welterweight? You know, he eats like 10 construction workers. And I'm like, God, dog, and Ricky Hatton too. He looked like the Michelin Man. And then you asking your body to just deflate itself during fight time. It's almost impossible, you know. And that helps you perform too. Your body is in tune. That's why Floyd was great. That's why Bernard was great, and Marvin Hagler, because they kept in shape in between fights. And a lot of fighters don't do that. They don't do that. Why you think? I personally believe this. Spence would have performed better against Porter and would have knocked out Garcia if he would have did the same thing. You know, and in between fights, keep in shape instead of losing all that weight. You have to stay in shape in between fights. It's called discipline. Mike Tyson used to be in tremendous shape. I remember I was watching a fight and somebody asked me why he's not breathing heavy in between rounds. I said that's called conditioning. You know, and that Mike Tyson was in shape. You have to take boxing seriously in the ring and out the ring. You can't, you know, balloon up, look like Rerun, and then look like Skeletor during fight night. It ain't gonna work, man. I mean, you may think it worked, you know, and Canelo better watch it too, because he messing with those weights. And just remember what happened to Roy Jones when he went up to heavyweight and came back down, and Chris Bird too, you know, because it becomes a neurological topic instead of a skill topic. So you have to watch that. Weight is very important.
I agree.
I think that, you know, not enough fighters take it. And it's ironic, though, because a guy like Patrick Day, you know, that dude, man, never got out of shape. Not in between fights, not nothing, man. He never got out of shape, man. But it might have been a case, like you said, like you guys are saying, that he might have been, you know, his body just grew, you know, because he was real muscular, right? Real muscular. And I think it might have been a situation where he outgrew 54, you know, and it's a possibility maybe he was dehydrated, you know, because if you look at the fight, again, I watched the fight again over and over now. I'm kind of obsessed with it. And the first knockdown, he didn't look good. He didn't look good from the first knockdown.
See, you just said it, my brother. You just said it. when you see a guy go down and it's like, okay, yeah, that was a good shot, but man, your reaction is a little bit, more drawn out than normal. To me, that caused major attention to them. As a referee, that was like, hey man, let me look real close at this.
But
Just my
you know what? You know who I blame though too? Trainers. A good trainer supposed to get his fighter out of trouble. Not talking about strategy, but if he doesn't look good, you stop the fight. Like Barry Hunter, when Lamont Peterson was getting beat down, it looked like he went through a blender against Spence. Barry Hunter said, nah, that's it. That's it for you. That's a mark of a good trainer. And when it's like the first guy I seen get killed, like I was really involved, was an Afro-Puerto Rican by the name of Willie Classer. He's from New York. He fought Warford Scipion. It was a middleweight fight, and they kept sending him out there, and Scipion was beating the hell out of him, man. And I was like, and I was young. I was only like 13 at the time, 12. It was in 78, 79. And I was like, they should stop the fight. I knew this then. And they didn't stop it. And he got knocked down for the last time, and he never recovered. He died. Wow. Willie Klassen from New York. So your trainer's supposed to get you out of trouble, man. Yeah, Lou Duva's not a great trainer like everybody. I know Lou personally, and I'm not dogging him, but he lost that Mildred Taylor fight. Because remember, he told Mildred Taylor to fight hard the last round. You need this round. He didn't need that round. And that fight, and I'm bringing up this fight because even though Mildred Taylor's still with us, thank God, but that fight did a lot of damage to him. He was never the same. He went to the hospital, broken bones in his face, because Lou Duva told him to fight hard. You need this round. All Lou Duva had to say is run around the damn ring for 3 minutes. Mm-hmm. So I blame the trainer. He had a one. You have to, your trainer, if you see your fighter's eyes are glossy and his motor functions is lacking, you're supposed to stop the fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Some guys, some trainers, not all, some trainers feel like it's about them. It's their pride on the line.
Yep.
You're not in the ring. You're not taking those shots. So take your pride and shove it. It's that young man or woman that's in there. They're trying to fight for their life while they're in there. And here it is. You're telling them to do this, that, and the other. And something is wrong, but you're like, oh, no, you can still do it. No, that's not always the case. It isn't. And I know and I have no problem in ever saying, if I see my son starting to get pummeled, I have no problem in running up to the ring and say, that's it. I want to be able to talk to him after this is over. Mm-hmm. And be able to see him with his family and to be able to walk around, so forth and so on. Yes, I want to see him win, but I don't want to see him carried out of the box.
Right.
No. So
and that's the thing. If you watch the day fight, when he got hit the second time, the first time he didn't look good. But look when he got hit the second time, the knockdown, when he fell into the ropes. When he got up, he was trying to bounce. He was trying to shake it off. And he was throwing tough combinations, but I think it was more so muscle memory than it was actually being present in the fight. If you watch
the referee let that fight go because they was showing that he was willing to fight back. But Blue, I'm with you, man. Even when he went down that second time, I was like, hey, they really can't stop this fight right now. There's no shame in it. They can stop the fight.
Right. He just didn't. I didn't like how he was responding. His muscle memory was there, right? But his reflexes wasn't there. He was dropping punches on the inside, boom, 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 but he wasn't able to respond when he was trying to get back out. And to me, it was like I didn't like his body language, And even when he got caught the last time, it wasn't this overly dramatic Deontay Wilder Dominic Brazil punch. It was like exhaustion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he just looked completely gone, and it wasn't like Charles was bombing him out of there. He was just steady tapping him.
Right. That's what I'm.
Yeah, right. I'm with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And when he followed followed him across the ring and landed that left hook. Oh man, how he just went down.
Yeah.
Oh man, and they zoomed in on him. I said, man, it looks like they have him laid out in the casket. And normally, when they look like that, is like that's career ending. But I didn't think that it would be career ending like that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm like, oh man. And you know what? That's why I brought up the situation with my mom, because when he fell, I'm like, oh man, I'm like, man, that didn't look good. But I thought, like, like you said, his career, this might be his last fight or something. But my mother, she was like, she didn't, her response. But I just took it as, she don't like the sports, she don't like football, she don't like combat sports to begin with, but. Yeah, the fact that he was laying there, he was gasping for air, and then his body was limp. I didn't like it, man.
Yeah, that's so sad. It really is. Hey, Blue and Kurt. Hey, man, I have to get back in here and get with money and to train and stuff, man. But it was great being on the show with you guys, and
absolutely.
And salute to the chat. And great chat, man. Great chat for real.
Oh, yeah. It's always a pleasure, man, Money, having you on, brother.
No doubt about it. Hey, but I'll get back in contact with you all soon this week, though, to join back in on the show.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate all right, then. Hey, you all take it easy.
You too, man.
All right, buddy.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Kurt, so, it's unfortunate, it's the sport, the nature of the sport, it's unfortunate, but listen, it happens, you know what I mean? For me, it's personal because I know him personally, and just prior to this, we saw two others, and we nearly lost Adonis Stevenson and Zab Judah, you know what I mean? So it's a tough sport, you know what I mean? But, but what you think about the weight loss situation with Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz? They both showing dramatic weight losses. What you think about that?
You know what? When you start changing stuff up, instead of improving on things, your flaws, that means you're feeling the pressure. Anthony Joshua, because if he loses, his career will go into a tailspin. Ruiz, if he loses, then people are going to say it was a fluke and it was just a lucky night. So now, the weight loss can be a hindrance to both of them. You can't, the way Ruiz is losing weight, man, I worry more about him than Joshua, because he had fast hands. Even when he appeared to be overweight, maybe it's just genetics with him, but it can weaken him. He could do less damage to Joshua, because if it goes to the scorecards, Joshua's already up 2 rounds. He's already up. It got Eddie Hearn's fingerprints all over it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the fight being over there, but that's another story. So I think it favors Joshua, even though both of them are losing weight. Ruiz should have just trained and let the weight come off like that, instead of concentrating and going on some weight loss diet, whatever. That's not the way you do it. So I worry about that, man. But like I said, the pressure is getting to both of them, because it's a huge fight, highly anticipated. I gotta lose weight, and I'm gonna do this differently. Nah, you don't do nothing differently. You just be sound mind, body, and soul, and do what you're supposed to do instead of changing things up. So I think it may be a hindrance to both. Will make it an exciting fight, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't like that weight loss for both fighters, especially for Ruiz, because I think he needs that weight. He may not be as strong as he was before, and that will change the whole complexion of the fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he said he lost about 15 pounds already. Ruiz said, and I think that the fact that see, people don't understand what weight loss could do to you, right? Even 5 pounds could be dramatic if you're a high class athlete. 5 pounds could be dramatic, right? That could be dramatic. 10 pounds could be dramatic, depending upon your body used to carrying a certain amount of weight. You understand? Your body used to functioning and you used to moving a certain kind of weight around. So losing 5 pounds, losing 10 pounds, losing 15 pounds, that could be dramatic. It could directly affect your performance in the fight, right? Because your body, the oxygen level, your body's used to carrying a certain amount of weight, a certain amount of fat, a certain amount of muscle mass, right? Yeah, you can make adjustments over a period of time, right? But if you look at Andy Ruiz, this weight loss that he had currently, it's dramatic. The last time I seen him in person to this person, it's dramatic weight loss, right? Whether it be 15 pounds, 5 to 10 to 15, doesn't matter, right? You can see it in his face. You can see dehydration, right? You can see that's what's going on, right? So, same case with Anthony Joshua. And with Anthony Joshua, he has stamina issues already. So that's going to play a major part with in Anthony Joshua in this fight, man. We could see both of these guys gassed out by the 5th round. Am I wrong, Kurt?
No, not at all. I remember when Riddick Bowe fought Andrew Galata, and Galata was beating the brakes off Bowe the first time, and he thought it was a weight issue instead of performance issue. So he lost weight. He looked like a light heavyweight, and people was like, "Oh man, Riddick Bowe gonna get him. He's in shape." And what happened? It was even worse, because every time Galata would hit Bowe, it was a hesitant, and then Bowe would go down. He was hurt with every punch. And I said to myself, that's a neurological thing right there. His body didn't react well when he was hit. It was a delayed reaction, and then he would be hurt. Because everybody was suckered because he lost all his weight, that he was going to perform better, but it became a hindrance, and that reminds me of the Ruiz and Joshua fight. And you're not wrong in your assessment. So we have to wait and see. If they look better, Ruiz look better, then I'll be like, okay, I was wrong. If Joshua looks better, I'm gonna be like, okay, but I don't think so. I think, the less of the two evils, whoever get hit first, man, I don't think they're going to take the punches well, because they don't have the weight to fall back on anymore. It's a whole nother kettle of fish when you do that. Boxing is a weird, tricky sport. You must maintain your weight and your mind. When you look at successful fighters, who have done that, they're Hall of Fame status fighters. And I mentioned the fighters before, so that's what I see.
Not to mention, people fail to realize that Andrew Ruiz just had recently, before the Joshua fight, had recently fought. So he fought just 2 months prior. You understand? So people forget that when they say he was dramatically out of shape, and or he was in shape, or however you look at it, right? He had just recently fought. He didn't have time, to balloon up in weight. And then people fail to realize too, is because people will say, well, you look at the dates. He fought in April, and then he fought in June, right? Yeah, well, you got to remember, when he was notified that he was given the fight, that he was going to have the opportunity. Okay, so he was notified just 3 weeks out from his last fight. So he had 5 weeks training camp going into the Joshua fight, right? Because 3 weeks outside of his last fight, he was notified that he was going to have the Joshua fight. So he didn't have time to get out of shape. So when the Ruiz that you saw going into the Joshua fight, in my opinion, physically he was in great shape, right? One of the best shapes that he could be in for what he does, right? Because so now we seen him, he just carried on from who he was from the last fight, from the fight where that he had prior in April. So he just carried that into the fight in June, right? So it was like an extended training camp, and he had, the fight. So, this fight, you seeing a weight loss. Now, if you look at Ruiz in the press conferences leading up to the Joshua fight, you didn't see this dramatic weight loss. Now, going in from the press conference, the last press conference to his workout, you see a dramatic weight loss. And we're still, what are we, 2 months away from the fight still? Right? We're almost 2 months, we're still away from the fight. He's still going to do training camp. So, I just think that like Tyson Fury's dad said, he was going into fights focusing on weight loss opposed to,
absolutely.
Focusing on strategy. And remember, Andrea Ruiz heard all of the body shaming after the fight. Everybody said, "Oh, how did this dude?" And so he's only human. He's only human, just like everybody else. So don't think that didn't play in his mind. And he wants his appearance to look different than his appearance did the last time. Don't think that that's in his mind. Go ahead, Kurt.
And that goes what I said. Pressure is a big fight. Worry about what people say, because see, you have fighters that was overweight, but it was who they are, and they performed admirably. Buster Mathis Sr., Tony Tubbs, Greg Page. Greg Page didn't have the best physique, but man, he could fight. If he would have lost that weight, he wouldn't have been that effective. And he was world champion. Had fast hands, faster than Ruiz, heavier than Ruiz. Had very fast hands, man.
Mm-hmm.
Very fast hands. Ruiz was heavier, but Page was a better athlete with that weight. He used to get Mike Tyson hell in sparring, even dropped Mike Tyson. Went to South Africa and beat Jerry Coetzee, for the title. So Page was a hell of a fighter, and people was dogging him about his weight, but he didn't listen.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't like the fight. But if he would have fought another 20 times with the same weight, he would have been effective. Same like Tony Tubbs. He had fast hands. So you can't always, you can't always look like Mike Weaver or Ken Norton. That's them. People have different genetics and different chemical makeups, and that muscles doesn't bode well for everybody. I mean, Holyfield can do it. He put on the weight correctly because he did it slow and he was muscular, but that's not for everybody.
Mm-hmm. And that's another thing, Kurt. Like, muscles don't win your physique. Listen, Timothy Bradley couldn't punch his way out of a wet paper bag, but you look at his six pack on the scale, like Floyd Mayweather said, Andre Berto more concerned with how he look on the scale than how he look in the ring, and those are facts. But already, Kurt, it's 8 o'clock already, man.
Good. What a show, man. What a show. Went fast, man.
Great show, man.
Went fast.
It just
we didn't even get to the phone calls. We couldn't do it. This is our first show back, but we'll get to the phone calls, in our next show. But we had so much to talk about, man. We couldn't even get to the phone calls today, people.
Yeah, and that's because we missed so much time. We missed a whole week, Kurt. A whole week.
We back on track, but you gotta understand, you in the front lines, bro. You in training camps, man. So that's large right there, man. So we back on it though. We back on it.
Yep, the grind don't stop, man. And we didn't even get into the Erickson Lubin fight. He's fighting Gallimore this weekend.
That might be the fight of the weekend. If Gallimore is at his A game, that's gonna be a tough fight. If he's on his A game.
Yep. So but the General 7-8 is on, man. So let's do it, man. Let's let the General go ahead and cook. But go ahead, Kurt, close us out, man.
Hey, great show, man. Thanks, Money Power Blue, man. You back. Welcome back again, brother. You're on the front lines, the capo, man. Great show. Thank you, chat. Even I can't see y'all, but we'll be back on the phone line tomorrow, man. And the General's on. Go to 78, man, and support LDBC and New Media, man. I'm Kurt Sugar. You know what I'm saying? Great show, man. I'm hyped, man. I'm gonna go look at some fights, man. And I just want to say peace.
Yeah, I'm gonna go watch some Josh Taylor and Prograis fights, man, because I can't wait for that fight.
Yep.
Can't wait. But y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hey, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed? Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow us on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share this video. That's all we got for y'all. Salute, peace, and blessings to each and every one of y'all. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be back on tomorrow, man. And we're going to have our special guests on, and we're going to open up the phone lines. We ain't get to it today because we had so much to talk about, but we'll be back on regularly scheduled soon enough. So all I got for y'all, man. Salute, peace.
Peace.